Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Emily. Hi, and we are here trying to rebuild our lives. I am 58, I'm going to be 60 in a couple of years, and my plan is to move to Portugal. And that is the whole premise of my video today. I've already done a video on when I decided to move to Portugal, but what I want to talk about today is, talk about the fallacy of a lot of people, especially North Americans that are moving to Portugal, and how you may not think it's everything it's cracked up to be, and I'll explain that. And then also what I've done today, all day today. I literally went through my entire house today, and I have gone through to get rid of as much as I could that I will not need, that I do not need, that is just cluttering my space and cluttering my mind. I am such a minimalist anyway, but I mean, I thought I was, but I have even delved further into the minimalistic lifestyle. And so literally today I've just been cleaning and getting rid of things. Magazines, don't need them, will never buy them again. Duplicates of, oh my God, even just spices. I had spices that expired in 2012. Like what? Nutmeg. What the hell did I buy nutmeg for? When will I ever use nutmeg? So I'm already starting that minimalistic thought process because I know that when I go to Portugal, it is going to be a very, very different life than what I'm used to here in Canada. In Portugal, it is very minimalistic. Like I was going through my drawers, my gadgets and stuff. I had a mango slicer. A mango slicer. I don't think I've used that mango slicer once. We here in North America there's such consumerism. We have so much stuff that is so ridiculous. I threw out chopsticks. You know when you order sushi and they send chopsticks? I had a drawer full of chopsticks and just gadgets that I don't need, like lemon squeezers, just a bunch of stuff that it's like, I know that in Portugal, my aunts and uncles and family members that live there would probably laugh at me. Like, why can't you just squeeze a melon? Or why can't you just cut up a mango? Or why can't you just, like so many gadgets. Anyway, I threw everything in a box. I am taking a ton of stuff over to donate, things that I was actually laughing because I was thinking, why did I ever get this? Why did I buy this? I had a knife specifically for cutting lettuce, a plastic knife, so that it doesn't brown the lettuce. Just crazy, crazy things. Dog toys, you guys. So many dog toys. I'm sure the dogs in the wild or the dogs, I know that in Portugal, for example, and I talk about Portugal a lot because that's what I know. That's where I was born. That's where I, lived until I was 7 years old, and that's where I go back. So I talk about that, but I know that in Portugal specifically, there are a ton of stray dogs. Sometimes I feel bad for them, but hey, listen, they survived just fine without all the toys. I had baskets full of toys and Kongs and bones, and it's ridiculous. The consumerism is crazy. So I really want to go back to a very simplistic life. Eating real food. That's the other thing. I went through my pantry, just threw out so much processed food. So many things that were just, like I said, spices, expired. I got rid of so much, and now I can see what's in the cupboards. And so I want to go back to a lifestyle where it is back to the basics. Just back to the basics. Growing food, eating real food. Buying only things that I need, that are essential, that are not cluttering my drawers and my space and my mind. I'm so excited about that. And so I started that today. I went into my closet and I did the same thing. Again, duplicates, so much tags on so many things that I've never worn that I probably will not wear now because it's whatever, I've just outgrown it. It's not my style. Or, oh, high heels, high heel shoes. Donating them all. I'm not in a lifestyle anymore where I am needing to dress up for work a lot and wearing high heel shoes. And they're just not comfortable. I now want my entire life to be about comfort and just, it has to make sense. And those 6-inch stilettos just do not make sense for me anymore. And I have bins and boxes that I am going to donate because I don't want to take it with me, and I certainly don't need it in my space right now. So that's what I did, and I encourage you all to do that. Go through your space and look at everything that you have that is just silly. Just silly. Don't need it. Don't need 3 or 4 or 5 of it. Did I need a special lettuce cutter? No. Did I need a mango slicer? No. And how often am I even eating mangoes? It just feels so good to do that. I canceled, well, I did this a long time ago. I canceled subscriptions to any like magazines and stuff, and books. So many books I'm donating. I can read on Kindle, or I can go to a library. So not only does it declutter, it also saves money. And so that's what I did today. Spent the entire day going through my whole house, and I did that. But now let's talk about Portugal a little bit, because I feel like I belong to so many Facebook groups right now about Portugal and properties in Portugal and just moving to Portugal. And they're very helpful in terms, I am a Portuguese citizen, and so I have a passport, my identity card and everything. But there's still so much that I didn't know, like taxes and how that works, and losing residency in Canada if I'm gone for longer than a certain amount of time, and then paying taxes in Portugal and paying taxes in Canada. Just so many things I didn't even think about. So that's very helpful. But there's a lot of North Americans on there asking questions in the Facebook groups that I'm like, oh, honey, no. One of the questions was, I've shipped my Hummer to Portugal, the north of Portugal. And does anyone know, I think the question was like, does anyone know where they service North American cars or something like that? And I'm thinking to myself, you're never going to be able to get a Hummer through some of those little cobblestone streets in the north of Portugal. I mean, the most popular car, I think, is like a Fiat or a Renault. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Driving a Hummer through those streets of Portugal is so impractical. I'm from the north of Portugal, like the very north, Montalegre, which is on the border of Spain. I can literally cross the street and be in Spain. And so those little villages with those little streets, you cannot get a large car. Sometimes it's even hard when I remember living in Portugal, and they used to deliver to the villages like the bread and fruit and stuff in those vans. And even those vans had a really hard time getting through the streets. So there's so much that I think North Americans might be surprised about moving to Portugal. Customer service, you guys, customer service. If you are used to a really fast paced and you're used to being catered to constantly, especially if you're like in a restaurant, that is not going to happen in Portugal. In Portugal, when you're sitting down to a meal, it is an experience. You're enjoying the conversation, the people, the food, the wine, and no one's coming to your table every 10 seconds to see if you need anything else. You are there for a while. And so it's disheartening sometimes when I am in Portugal and I do see the foreigners get really upset with the wait staff because the customer service is bad. It's not that the customer service is bad, it's just a lifestyle. That's just the way it is there. And unless you are willing to move to a country like that and accept how it operates, then you're going to be awfully frustrated. because it is a different world. It is slow paced. The bureaucracy alone of a lot of the stuff in Portugal will drive you crazy. It takes forever to get anything done. Most places close down on the weekends. Most places, not most, all places close down. Like there's a lunch hour from I think 12 to 1. And it's not like people take a break and there's other people there. No, everyone's on lunch. And no one's getting up or moving to help you if you're trying to shop in between those hours. That's just the way it is. Everything is, sometimes you feel like everything is backwards. Like it shouldn't take this long to accomplish anything that is like bureaucracy related. Forget it. Now, that being said, they do realize that a lot of things do take a long time. And I think they are they're very cognitive of that. And they do give you a lot of grace. If you're late, if things are expired, if whatever, there's usually not punishments or fees or whatever. That's just the way they operate. They understand it, and it is what it is. Oh my God, if you go to Portugal in the month of August, it's like the entire country is shut down. Seriously. People really they don't live to work. They work to live. And they live for family, and they live for joyful experiences. They really do. And so there's not a lot of consumerism. There's not a lot of, I don't know. It's a different world, you guys. And if you're expecting to go there and to have everything run efficiently and smoothly, then you're in for a rude awakening. Even the electricity sometimes, I think that in some public places, the electricity will go off, like goes off. Like you could be in a gym, in a change room, and it's on timers. So the electricity is, especially in the north, especially in villages, it is on and off. Excuse the pun, but also there's not a lot of places that have air conditioning. And there's not a lot of places that have, that it's just so easy to just turn on the heat. So I feel like it's behind in a lot of areas, but if you're okay with living in a society that is community, that is slow paced, that is very easygoing, that doesn't value or doesn't place the almighty dollar like as top priority, then you will be just fine there and you will be happy. And that's the life that I want to go back to. I want to go back to growing my own food. I mean, not all of it, but just growing my own food, eating real food, being around family, taking the time to really enjoy the simple things in life, and the simple things in life that are free, like nature and being outside and being outdoors and sunlight. It's sunny, you guys. I think it's sunny like 300 out of 365 days in Portugal, honestly. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but Google it. Portugal is one of the sunniest locations that you can go to. And so it's just, I know that a lot of people are looking, just because I'm following the Facebook groups, and it's like, oh my God, it feels like everyone's moving to Portugal. But when I see some of the questions on the chats, and when I see some of the unrealistic expectations, I'm like, oh man, it's not for everyone. It's not. And it depends too on which area you go to. You can be along the coast, or you can be in the south, which is very touristy, the Algarve, and it's the beaches and gorgeous, but I have no desire to be there. I want to be either on the Silver Coast, which is in between Lisbon and Porto, Lisboa and Porto, or north of Porto, which is where I'm from, and which is on predominantly my entire family is there. Now, the only thing with being that far north is it's going to be about a 2.5 hour flight every time I want to come back to Canada. Sorry, 2.5 hour to 3 hour drive to get to an airport, which I guess isn't that bad, but still. And it's further away, you know, from like the big city center. I think the biggest would be Porto, which would be about 2.5 hours. There's Chaves, which is about 30 minutes from where I was from, which is a little bit bigger city. But what's enticing about being in the north of Portugal, you guys, is that I could potentially have the opportunity to buy my grandfather's house. So my mom and dad both still have their childhood homes that they grew up in and that they were born in. On my father's side, unfortunately, that is the house that is stunning, but has been neglected for many, 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 many years, and it is literally falling apart. It was huge. It was beautiful. It was overlooking the water, stone, built in the 1800s, and I could cry when I go back there now because it has been so neglected. And remember what I was talking about with bureaucracy? Nobody seems to know or understand or like figure out like who owns this house? What is happening with it? And everyone is just like passing the buck, and it's such a sad, sad situation because that is the house that if I had the money and the resources, I would completely renovate that incredible, stunning house on an incredible location. But the house I'm thinking of buying is my grandfather's house from my mom's side. And my mom, that house was left to my mom and all her siblings. Now, I was there a couple of years ago and there was talk that they wanted to sell the house and they wanted to put it up for auction. So when I go back this summer, I've already spoken to family members and expressed my interest in buying that house with one of my sisters, actually. And so that is enticing because it would be obviously, it's hopefully we'd get a better deal, but we could renovate it and keep it in the family. So that is an option. Now, if for whatever reason there's, you know, I feel like nobody wants it until somebody expresses interest, and then somebody will inevitably want it. I just have a feeling that's going to happen. And there's so many siblings. So that is an option. But at least until I decide where I want to be permanently, I have family members I can stay with. I have an uncle that lives in New York that has this incredible, gorgeous house that he built that he's offered me to stay there until I figure out where I want to settle. Because I am having a bit of an issue with, do I want to be on the coast of Portugal or do I want to be inland? Do I want to be farming chickens or do I want to be by a beach? And so I'm kind of struggling with that. But the great thing is I don't have to make that decision permanently for a while because I've got a lot of places I can literally go and stay for months on end until I decide what I want to do. And but you know, keeping the family home, that my mother's the only one that goes and stays there, and it is falling apart. I mean, it does need work. I've mentioned this in another video. The water like trickles in. But it sort of would be so great to keep it in the family. But now I'm talking north of Portugal, you guys, north, with probably not a lot of people would go to. It's very isolated, but for some reason, I am being drawn there. I am being called there. So we'll see what happens. So that's where we're at with Portugal. I approaching 60, I'm really at a point in my life where I just really want to have a meaningful, fulfilled last, like back nine of my life. And I'm hearing so much, like daily, getting so many, hearing about people being sick, having cancer, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to wait until it's the perfect time or wait, and then not being able to enjoy it. And I'm telling you right now, as many of you know, and I've said this a million times before, and I feel like I'm doing like a shameless plug every time, but I have a son who right now is in South Africa. I've got two sons in South Africa, but one of them, his company is the SOSA, Save Our Species Alliance, and he runs a lot of excursions he's a conservationist, to all over the world. And I was just looking at pictures on Instagram of South Africa. He's at Global Conservation Force, and his brother went down. So his brother's a pilot, and his brother probably will be doing a lot of the flying the bush planes. And his brother went with him, and they're really busy, so they're not posting the photos that I'm looking at in the videos. But when I was in Madagascar last year, one of his excursions, I met a lot of people. Madagascar was life-changing for me. Life-changing. I came out of that trip with a whole new perspective. Hence why, I'm moving to Portugal. But anyway, I met a lot of people on that trip. And these same people, a lot of them went back. And they do a lot of these trips that he runs because they're so fucking cool. And I'm kicking myself for not going to South Africa because, first of all, I have 2 sons there. But I was kicking myself last month when they were in Baja and riding horses along the beach. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to be on that trip too. But South Africa, where they are right now. So this girl I met when she went down to Madagascar. I messaged her before she left. I knew she was going, and I said, I want you to post as much as you can. And oh my God, you guys, the photos and the videos that she's posting, I'm so jealous right now. I'm so jealous in a good way because I'm so happy for them that they're living life and experiencing life. Good for you. And she's a young girl. She lives here in my hometown. She's a vet tech, and she's like, I work to travel. And I said, well, good for you. Anyway, she has one video where she's overlooking it. It looks like she's in a tree house. Like the accommodations are in a tree house. And I sent her a message because that would be so fucking cool. And she's overlooking, and you can see the elephants and the giraffes and the zebras. And she's just having her morning coffee, and you can hear the monkeys. And it's like, oh my God. I mean, I guess not everybody is into that, but what an experience. And literally be boots on the ground. So his trip, my son, is working with Global Conservation Force. And what they don't know, what the rangers don't know, is that he teamed up with Baffin, which is a shoe company here in Canada. He teamed up with Baffin, and they are going down and offering all of the rangers special combat boots for them to wear when they're on their patrol, because the rangers are fighting the poachers. And you guys, for them to afford boots, they would literally need to work an entire year. I think they literally make like $1 a day. Seriously, I'm not joking. And so how cool would that even be to experience that, to watch, to be there and watch him and Baffin present all of the rangers brand new boots. And I know it sounds so stupid because it's such a little thing, but that is huge for them. Huge. They can't afford luxuries like that. And in fact, oh my God, I feel like this video is going to be forever. But in fact, when he was there last year, Blake is my son. When Blake was there last year, he was doing the actual patrol that the course that the rangers have to go through in order to be a registered ranger. He had emergency surgery. He got such a bad infection on the bottom of his foot that sepsis had set in, and he had to be flown out to a private hospital and in South Africa and have emergency surgery. And he was in the hospital for 2 weeks. It was pretty serious. And so to be able to offer these rangers really good quality footwear is just like, so proud of that whole organization. But I just was looking at the pictures and thought, not only do I want to be there experiencing that with my boys and seeing the animals and doing a safari, but even to be part of such a great cause is so fulfilling to me. I don't want to just travel to, I don't know, Florida and sit margaritas on the beach, which that would be great too. But to experience something like that is just what I want to do, how I want to spend the last 20, hopefully 30 years of my life. And so there, another shameless plug for the Sosa and Blake Moynes, who's my son. Anyway, you guys, that's it. I'm getting my hair done tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. Look at the grays. Whatever, it is what it is. Getting my hair done tomorrow, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about Portugal, lifestyle, and how, what I'm doing to rebuild my life, rebuild my kick-ass life for the last 20, 30 years of my life, and little steps I'm taking and what I'm doing. And decluttering and getting rid of stuff feels so good. And I started that after leaving my second marriage, where I came out of that marriage and got rid of anything that was just name brand and designer and bougie. And listen, you like the bougie stuff, you like your designer things, have at it. I am not, no judgment at all. I am just in this mode of reevaluating. And to me, I've had it all. I've done it all in terms of like the luxury and the money. And I was never happy. And I just now want to be happy. And those things just don't make me happy anymore. It's not about the stuff. It's about the experiences and the memories. And that's what I want to do. So that's it. Thank you for watching to the end if you did. And I hope you're getting something out of these videos. And I'm going to get my hair done tomorrow. So maybe I will post a video after getting my hair done, because I don't get my hair done often. And that's another thing, is I go down long. I used to, the first sign of a gray hair, I used to have to run in to get my hair done. And now it's like, okay, it's time, but it's been like, I don't know, 7 weeks. So whatever. Thanks guys. And I'll see you back here real soon on rebuilding a kick-ass life.